There's breaking news right now outside of Nationals Park, and the Nationals have decided to non-tender closer Kyle Finnegan, who was an all-star this past season, that they decided not to trade, and now they are not bringing him back for nearly like $8.5 million. The alarms, they're sounding.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you can check us out over on YouTube. Just search up Locked On Nationals. That is where you'll find your daily content of the Washington Nationals. And this is a short kind of reaction video here. Out of nowhere, the Nationals have decided to non-tender their all-star closer, Kyle Finnegan, who is due around $8.5 million in arbitration this season. And I don't know what to make of it. This news broke quite literally like 10, 15 minutes ago, sitting down, watching Ted Lasso, eating my dinner, drinking some wine. All of a sudden, the Nationals, out of nowhere, have non-tendered Kyle Finnegan and as well as Tanner Rainey. We start off with Kyle Finnegan first and foremost, though. Earlier on today, I went on for 10 plus minutes about why the Nationals and just how dumb it was for them not to trade Kyle Finnegan this past July. And we talked about John Morosi's report, or quote-unquote report, just a few days ago, as the Nationals were expected to maybe trade him this offseason. That never happened. The Nationals have parted ways with their, again, all-star closer, one of the better closers in all of baseball. You are not trading him. No one's going to take him for that price tag, supposedly. They just said, we're good. We're going to have a solution some way, somehow. So there's different avenues the Nationals could go with this, and we're going to get to those a little bit later. But I want to harp on this. The process of which the Nationals have taken with the bullpen at this point is dumb. It just is. You cannot tell me a few months back when the Nationals were at the trade deadline, you cannot tell me there is not one team out there willing to trade for Kyle Finnegan, who again was just voted an all-star a few weeks prior. That's a lie. This offseason, you could not have traded him for, I don't know, a bat boy, a couple baseballs, maybe a baseball bat. You have traded John Lester in years past, someone who was awful, who had a 5 ERA, was going out there getting shellacked every single time he went out there. And you cannot trade your all-star closer. You have said, we'll find these goods and services elsewhere, but you, Kyle Finnegan, you're gone. Let me just say this. I don't think Kyle Finnegan is a closer on a great baseball team. I don't think Kyle Finnegan is someone that you want going into October saying, this guy's going to close the door against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. He's going to get the job done against Ronald Acuna and the Atlanta Braves. I've never believed in that part here. I think Kyle Finnegan is a fine closer. I think he has proven to be a solid bullpen piece, but I don't think he is a true closer. But you have made trades in years past for Mike Rizzo in particular, and you ask yourself, how does he get this done? How do you get that value back? And now you're not willing to pay him $8.5 million for 1 year? Make that make sense. You can't. Going into this offseason now, let's get into the different ways that this could go. First and foremost, my gut feeling, this does not bode well for the National spending. It doesn't. Saving $8.5 million and whatever else it's going to take to have Tanner Rainey come back, and let's say it's $10 million overall between the two. Saving $10 million, what is that going to do? What does that really prove? Who is that going to save up money for? Trevor Williams? I don't know. Kyle Gibson? Someone of that caliber? This ball club right now needs so much help. And you just let go one of your better assets that you could trade at the trade deadline. And the Nationals opted out of it. Sitting here right now, number one, it has ruined my Friday night. I just had spaghetti and meatballs. I was having a good night watching Ted Lasso. And now I'm sitting here talking about Kyle Finnegan. Not the way I wanted my Friday night to go. So thank you, Washington Nationals. This was an abomination of a move. Going forward with this team, with this ownership in particular, you better spend. Because at this point in time, you cannot tell me that you have faith in them spending at this point. Saving $10 million is ridiculous as far as running a professional baseball operation. It's insane. I don't even know what to think of it at this point in time. But if you're a Nationals fan out there, if you have season tickets, what do you think? Does this make you feel good about them trying to go out there and get Juan Soto? No. If they're trying to save $10 million, then what makes you think they're going to spend $50 million a year on a franchise Hall of Fame caliber player like Juan Soto? It's not going to happen. What makes you think they're going to go out there and give Pete Alonso $150 million? Because look at it from this move, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm baffled. This is not a puzzle piece that you would take for a rebuilding ball club trying to get back into contention. You get assets back. You aren't getting anything back for Kyle Finnegan. Let's say the Nationals decide to go after him in free agency, because that's what he is right now. He is going to be free to sign with any ball club out there. I don't know going forward if you can really just expect that the Nationals will be making moves left and right. But again, I go back to a point that I've been harping on for the last few months. I do think the Nationals will try and get someone better, maybe a mid-tier kind of player, signed to a 3-4 year deal. But I think the big move this offseason will come through the trade market. But then again, one of the guys that you would trade, you just let go. You got nothing for him. And maybe the Nationals, they go out there and they sign Kyle Finnegan to a 1-year, $8 million contract, a 3-year, $24 million contract, whatever it is. Let's say they do that to save $500,000. That's what it comes down to for these billionaire owners. It doesn't make sense. And if you're a Nationals fan out there, you have to be upset. How can you not be at this point? This move, sitting here tonight, eating my spaghetti and meatballs, drinking my wine, watching my Ted Lasso, ruining my Friday night, I'm baffled by what this move is. It makes zero sense. And again, it comes down to ownership, in my opinion. I don't think this is a savvy baseball move. The savvy baseball move, it comes by trading him for whatever you can. Get something back. Because also, Kyle Finnegan, he's replaceable. Don't get that twisted. He's good. He has an all-star resume. He has proven that he can be a placeholder as a closer. And he's proven that he can close baseball games in the summer months. But I'm also not trusting him in October baseball. But then I go back to the point, you got back nothing for this guy who was an all-star, who did have offers at the deadline to try and acquire him. What a weird, wild move. And this sets the table for what could be an offseason that completely makes the Lerners ownership or ruins it. And at this point in time, that clock that was sitting there right there at 12 o'clock, just tick back to the other side that they don't want to be on. This was a wild move that I don't think anyone anticipated. We'll have much more of this covered on Monday's program, but I did want to get a reaction out there. Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some answers, but what a way to start the offseason. Let's see what the Nationals do. But my, oh my, what a stunner. I'll catch you guys on the flip side on Monday's program. Continue to react to this, but my God, what a way to start the offseason. I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.